Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something you've probably felt, but maybe haven't put into words yet. We're talking about this crazy tension right at our doorsteps, the massive productivity gains we are getting from artificial intelligence, stacked against the creeping, very real fear of cognitive atrophy. So here's the big, provocative question. Is AI actually making us lose our minds? It sounds dramatic, right? But think about it. We are living in this wild paradox where AI is skyrocketing our daily output, but at the exact same time, it might literally be threatening our fundamental critical thinking skills. Let's unpack what the research is actually saying about all of this. Section 1, the critical thinking crisis and the AI reliance threat. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, so academic research published in the journal Societies found a genuinely startling metric. They discovered a strong negative correlation of negative 0.494 between frequent AI tool usage and critical thinking. What does that actually mean in plain English? Basically, the more people rely on AI to do their heavy mental lifting, the lower their critical thinking scores drop. And wow, the data showed this was especially pronounced in younger folks. And this isn't just an academic problem. If we look at how this plays out in the corporate world, McKinsey reports that a staggering 95% of AI pilots fail to deliver a return on investment. 95%. And here's the kicker. It is almost never because the technology itself failed. No, these failures happen because of misaligned leadership and a severe lack of critical evaluation by the actual humans at the wheel. Moving right along to Section 2, the science of offloading and cognitive mechanics. To really understand this, we need to talk about a psychological concept called cognitive offloading. Now, this is basically the process of using external tools to reduce the cognitive load on your working memory. We've always done this, right? Think about using a calculator or a GPS, but researchers are pointing out something new. Delegating complex, creative mental tasks to generative AI is making us metacognitively lazy. We aren't just offloading our memory anymore. We are actually offloading the thinking process itself. Which brings us to productive struggle. This is that necessary, sometimes frustrating cognitive effort you have to put in during the early stages of deep learning. You know that feeling when you're wrestling with a tough concept? Doing things the hard way, with a bit of friction, is quite literally how the brain builds understanding. So when AI swoops in, removes that friction, and just hands you the perfect answer instantly, it totally short-circuits your brain's natural learning mechanism. Think of learning like a pyramid. Educators call this Bloom's taxonomy. Now, AI is amazing at accelerating our access to that bottom layer of factual knowledge. It feels super productive, but it completely bypasses the vital cognitive steps of analyzing and evaluating, which sit at the very top of the pyramid. By giving us instantly synthesized answers, AI creates this dangerous illusion of understanding. We think we know the material, but we've basically been robbed of the chance to actually develop our own analytical reasoning. All right, Section 3, the great cognitive handoff, moving from execution to steering. Drawing from a fantastic essay by systems engineer Zach El-Fassi, we can see a major paradigm shift happening. Think about driving a regular car. You're focused on the mechanics, right? Shifting gears, hitting the brakes, checking the mirrors. But driving a Formula One car at mind-bending speeds, you literally cannot think about mechanics anymore. You have to think in optimal racing lines. Well, AI is our Formula One car. We are moving away from manual implementation to steering intelligence at absolute breakneck speeds. We are seeing this crystal clear in software development right now. Programmers are watching their coding environments transform into an external frontal cortex. Instead of grinding through boring loop implementations at 3 in the morning, they're offloading the tedious details to guide an AI through complex problem spaces. It is a massive transition from individual, isolated cognitive labor to a deeply collaborative human-AI intelligence. As El-Fassi so brilliantly puts it, information doesn't just want to be free, it wants to evolve. We're currently participating in this accelerating civilization-scale recursion. Human and AI collaborations are generating code, writing, and research that then become the very outputs used to train the next generation of even more capable AI systems. It's a continuous exponential feedback loop, and we are right in the middle of it. Section 4, AI as a thought partner and leadership strategy. So how does this play out in organizational leadership? Well, McKinsey breaks this down by categorizing AI into 5 strategic roles: researcher, interpreter, thought partner, simulator, and communicator. Notice how these roles cast AI as a highly sophisticated thought partner, not just a glorified calculator. It can pressure test your strategy, it can challenge your hidden blind spots, and it can even simulate multiple market scenarios before you ever make a single move. This really ushers in the era of agentic AI. These are systems that plan, reason, and execute multi-step tasks with very minimal supervision. We're talking way beyond basic productivity tools here. And as executive coach Michael Ralph points out, the real skill gap going forward isn't technical. You don't need to know how the software is actually coded. The real gap is going to be in how leaders frame problems and translate AI-informed insights into decisions that actually stick. The overarching takeaway here is so important. The skill isn't implementation anymore. The skill is steering. Your human judgment remains the absolute anchor. You have got to develop the discernment to know exactly when the AI is giving you something brilliant and when it is confidently hallucinating. Section 5, Protecting Our Human Cognition with Actionable Guardrails. So what can we actually do about this? We must enforce structured engagement. First, that means defining strict boundaries for when AI is used. Maybe you use it to gather info, but never to form the final conclusion. Second, we need to design designated AI-free zones to strictly preserve our independent reasoning. And third, we need to guide reflection by constantly asking ourselves, okay, what did the AI actually miss here? I absolutely love this next idea. Consider implementing the Socratic flip. Imagine configuring your AI tools to essentially question the question. When you ask the AI a query, instead of it just spitting out an answer, it pauses and asks you, well, what is your hypothesis? Or what do you already know about this topic? This intentionally increases your cognitive burden, promoting independent discovery rather than passive, lazy reliance. To maintain our mental fitness, we absolutely must introduce intentional friction. By setting up metacognitive prompts, nudging learners to pause, forcing ourselves to evaluate multiple AI perspectives, and focusing on the process rather than just the final outcome, we make sure we aren't passively consuming an illusion of knowledge. I want to leave you with this really provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. Are you still doing the driving, or have you become the racing line? As we build this incredible hybrid human-AI consciousness, you have to ask yourself, what is your daily role in the great cognitive handoff? Are you steering the intelligence, or is it steering you? Definitely something to chew on the next time you open a prompt window. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.